Brothers and sisters, President Nelson has asked that I handle the business of the solemn assembly. It is proposed that the first presidency sustain Russell Marion Nelson as prophet, seer, and revelator, and president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as prophet, seer, and revelator, and president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as prophet, seer, and revelator, and president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
So, yeah, they're going over the word chesed from Hebrew, and there's some understanding that they're not going to tell you, because David is the word for love, and is the better word for love, but they're using another word because it distracts away from David and the Jewish church and the Jewish religion and all things Jewish, as Joseph was Jewish, as I'm trying to remember to put that picture at the beginning of all my videos now, if you hadn't noticed, to remind those of you who are Mormon of where I stand. And so, yeah, let's give you a little background on this with the final minute or two that I have left. It's using the Aramaic script, which is the common language during the Roman period time for the Jews. And the reason why Aramaic rather than Hebrew, and you need to know the difference between Paleo-Hebrew and Semitic Hebrew. Semitic Hebrew is Babylonian Hebrew. And when the Jews got taken captive into Babylon, they assimilated into Babylon and all things Babylon. Thus the language turned into Semitic Hebrew. They used the vowels in Semitic languages into the Hebrew script. And so Proto-Sinaitic is believed to be the precursor to biblical Hebrew, or Hebrew, which is incorrect. It was a reverse engineering, and so the dating is wrong for the scientists who are claiming the theory that they do. I am the foremost scholar on anthropology of the ancient Middle East. There is nobody else in my field. And so you kind of want to listen, hearken. Pre-Babylonian Hebrew is a completely different language. Biblical Hebrew is where they're getting this from, though. Biblical Hebrew was not developed until 800 CE, AD. And it's a mixture of Islam, Aramaic, Semitic Hebrew, and some remnants of Paleo-Hebrew. And they threw it all in there, depending on which group of Masoretic Jews did which portion of the Tanakh. And you can identify it by the use of the vowels that they put in there. And, for example, the masculine plural ending, you have one group that used M, and another group that used the yod. So when I did my research, I stripped all of the biblical Hebrew words of the vowels and the vowel points so that I can go back to the original and do the tests necessary to find out and confirm the alphabetic script that I had already deciphered. And so what you have with the ke is it's the same as cam. And so as they don't have one for Egypt, they use Mitrium in the biblical Hebrew text. Ham is already Egypt. Kemet is the Egyptian word for Egypt, the Black Land. Kem, Ham. But they don't know, because Egyptian is dead by the time they're working on this. It's a dead language. And the Rosetta Stone wasn't discovered until Napoleon. And then Jean Champollion is the decipherer of it. But it's only the manner of Greek learning imposed on the Egyptians. So the Greeks were putting in their Greek alphabet phonetics into the Egyptian script. That's what Egyptologists don't understand, and why I am the guy who's added signs to the sign list along with the translations of those signs. Again, you do not know the value I single-handedly possess. Although I did have a prince follow me on academia.edu the other day, as well as Gary Greenberg, who I used to be in contact with back in the 2000s. He's the one author of 101 Myths of the Bible. I thought he was dead. Hadn't heard from him in a while, but anyway. And so the Paleo-Hebrew script is completely different than the Aramaic script. And it's a pictorial logographic. It took longer than I intended for this simple explanation. Similar to Sandra Bullock in The Lost City, the perfect girlfriend for me, who's a fictional character. And so the Ke is a ladder, and is symbolic in the Egyptian characters of Nut, the heavens. And so it's the female Nut in the Egyptian mythology, or story form. Mythology is kind of, and I take too long to explain it. We're already over time here. And so this is a prefix determinative for the core word, which are two letters. The S is the S for the symbol of Osiris, the Dej pillar. And there's history behind it, and it includes Babylon of Lebanon, or Babel of Lebanon, rather than the Babel that everybody says is of Babylon. And so that's the first letter, Osiris, the symbol of Osiris, the father. Then you have the D, David, double D's for David, which is the word for love, because it's female breasts, and female breasts are for nurturing babies, as well as for love making to make the babies to nurture the breast milk. And thus it has multiple meanings of love contained in the one word. And thus why David, the Star of David, being a merging together of male and female into one, similar to the yin yang. And so it's also, because it's the male symbol pointing up as a pyramid, the pyramid is the primordial mound in Egyptian theology. And it has to do with the son that is born of the union, that rises up out of the waters. Just as women give birth, the water breaks, and the baby comes out, breathes air, Genesis chapter 2, because Father Shu breathes life into him. And so here you have father of the primordial mound, Horus, the son, the prophesied son to restore the kingdom of the latter days. And so you have Nut, you have Geb, the father, the two parents that gave birth to the son. And so you have the family unit of Egypt, upon which all of Egyptian culture is based, contained in the one word for this form of love. And they're not even going to explain it in that manner, I'm willing to bet. But that's all I can do, is go with what they say here. Watch video clips of President Oaks sharing President Nelson's teachings about the Hebrew word chesed, posted on the President Oaks Instagram account. Whatever, Oaks. Stay out of my lane.
pues ya es para lo que le estamos pidiendo,